It's been 6 years that I've been on YouTube, and today I want to reflect on the things I've learned, the things that were great, and the things that maybe were not so great. And I hope it will be interesting. Thanks a lot to my patrons and anyone who supports me. And if you're ready, let's get started. I think the best part of this YouTube channel was meeting people, connecting with others through your comments, but also through different videos I created with different creators. For instance, Steve Kaufman, Luca Lampariello, but also the different YouTubers I talked to for the different languages I've learned. For instance, in Italian, I met Simone from Italiano in 7 Minuti, or for instance, Oscar from Let's Svenska med Oscar for Swedish, or Fredrik, also with Simple Swedish Podcast. I've met all those people, and for instance, I met Fredrik in Barcelona. We had a drink. I also met for a coffee with Gabriel from Parpaillon Blau. So it's been very enriching in that regard, and also connecting with my patrons, talking, having long conversations, not only about language learning. And I feel like this has been the very best of everything, meeting and connecting with other people. It was so special because I personally hadn't been meeting anyone online, so I only knew the people I went to school with, to university with, or who I work with, my family, of course. So I somehow didn't use the internet for meeting people, and I still don't in general. But with my YouTube channel, I was able to meet a lot of people, and especially at the beginning, it was COVID. And so it was really perfect because it was a time in which it was super difficult to meet other people. So that, I think, has been the very best part of my YouTube journey. The second thing I really love about my YouTube journey have been the different experiments I've done. For instance, I was learning Italian for a year, for 10 minutes every day, at least 10 minutes, using, the Atomic Habits learnings and also using the natural approach. Then I repeated this experiment with Swedish, and then I also had fairly recently, I took a 6-week course in Swedish only speaking. It was amazing. I mean, it was very time consuming, but it was a great thing to do, and I feel like it's not something I would have done without the channel. It gives me sort of an excuse to document my journey and to be like, what would happen if I did this or if I did that, right? And I think that's also how I started with Duolingo, with Japanese, which, to be honest, I haven't learned much, and it's been more than a year. But I continue doing it because it's fun, and I don't feel like we always need to do things that make sense. But I'm glad the other experiments turned out to be more helpful. I also remember I read my first book in Russian. It was about productivity, and my Russian was a lot better that year when I was reading that book. But also at the end of the year, I was sick and tired of that topic specifically, because if you read one book for a year, it just makes you feel crazy, right? But it was still nice to do it, and I'm glad I did. I wouldn't do it again, I think. I would probably maybe choose a shorter book and do it maybe for a couple of months, but one book in 1 year, I made it. I was able to complete the book, which was great, and it really helped me improve my Russian, but it got really boring at the end because, it's the same topic, and you get bored. So having my own experiments was great, and documenting them, that was one of my favorite parts of my YouTube journey. We already talked about meeting with others from the perspective of human connection, but I think that the collaborations I did were great in the sense that they opened up my mind. For instance, when I was talking with Luca Lampariello, he has a very different approach, right? Like, he uses translation, he just focuses on reading and input and without producing any output for a while, etc., right? And that's not how I do it. And I wouldn't say that he's right and I'm wrong or the other way around. It just helps you understand that there are different paths to reaching a similar goal, and that we don't all need to do it the same way. And I think that's what this whole collaborations taught me. And also, for instance, going out of my comfort zone, doing live sessions. I am a bit of a control freak, so when you do a live session, you cannot repeat and you might make a fool out of yourself or whatever. So for instance, when I was collaborating with Ecolinguist, and I am a polyglot, but I forget words in my own mother tongues, right? And I think it was humbling in the sense that Yes, I didn't do everything perfectly. I forgot basic words, but that's also okay, right? That's part of the language learning process, that you will not be perfect. You are human. So, and I think that's something I really liked, and it helped me grow as a person. Facing those sort of challenges, of live sessions and stuff like that was really good. What surprised me from the beginning was how many people were watching my videos. And it just confirmed that specifically for me, it was better to create short lessons and have a lot of people watch them than to just continue giving one-on-one lessons. Because I feel like the videos are there. If anyone wants to watch them, they can watch them again and again if needed. And there are videos I created 5 years ago and people are still watching them. So it's very useful, it's very productive. I did it once and many people are watching it, and it's really amazing. In a way, it's similar to the power of compounding, right? So you create something, you leave it there, and it just sort of grows on its own. I mean, there are a lot of videos, of course, that not many people have watched, and maybe they have not been very useful. This can always happen, but if some of them are useful, I'm already happy, so that's really great. Maybe the last thing to mention that I think has been positive was collaborating with different brands. As you know, I have some affiliate links below if you want to help me. Also creating my own Patreon site. I'm working on my own course. I don't know when it will be ready. It has been a while, but I'm working on it. And the thing is, all of these projects, it's not about being perfect. It's not about getting rich or anything. They haven't been that successful, but it has motivated me to try out something new. And I do have my safety net of my normal job, so I don't need the money from YouTube. I don't need the money from sponsorships. It's nice, but I don't depend on it, so I'm not desperate to sell stuff to you guys. So, I mean, if you buy it, it's great for me, but I don't depend on it for food or rent or whatever. So that's nice, and it still has made me grow, I think, even if I haven't become a successful business person or whatever, but it was a nice experience and I'm really grateful for it. Now let's talk about the negatives. I would say that in general, I love my YouTube experience, but there have been a few things that haven't been the best, let's say, and maybe we can discuss them a bit. So my community is amazing. I don't have many haters. That's great. So I don't have that problem. I know a lot of creators struggle with that, but I don't in general. I mean, there can always be some mean comments, but in general, this hasn't been the case, so I'm grateful for that as well, actually. But yeah, the issue with YouTube, I feel, is that you focus on a niche, right? So my niche are languages. I'm actually not niched down enough for the YouTube algorithm. The best thing would be to just focus on one language and keep talking about the same topics over and over again. Why? Because it's better for searchability. So people can find you and they know what to expect. In my case, I talk in different languages, I talk about different topics, and that's not good for the YouTube algorithm. And I understand that, but that frustrates me because I'm like, I don't feel like I'm a one-trick pony. I want to speak different languages, and I actually feel like even with my channel name, Couch Polyglot, everyone tells me, yeah, it's a great name, blah, blah. But I don't know if I'm sure about that. I like the concept, I like what it means, but at the same time, I'm a person with more than just one hobby. Yeah, I speak languages, yeah, I love languages, yeah, I'm a polyglot. But sometimes I would like to talk about other topics. That's what I do on my Patreon site. So this is like creating videos in Catalan, but talking about different topics, because at some point it gets old. I've said, I think, what I wanted to say about language learning. I use the natural approach, that I use, tricks like atomic habits. I've talked about getting things done and different things like that, about productivity, how to focus, etc. And at some point I feel like, so what's the goal here? Should I keep repeating the same things over and over because people don't watch the old videos anyway? Or what's the next step? And that does frustrate me sometimes because I feel like I don't really know what to talk about. And at the end of the day, I always try to give this message of, you don't have to worry about mistakes. Mistakes are normal. Don't get obsessed with pronunciation. Use input that's interesting to you, etc. And I think the experiments helped me find a way to package all that again and again, even in different languages and just showing my progress. That was interesting, but at the end of the day, I'm thinking, well, what should I tell you more? I don't know. That's why I struggle sometimes to find topics, because I don't want to just randomly talk about the same stuff again and again. So it'd be nice if you can leave a comment below. Maybe there are some topics I haven't talked about regarding language learning and that can be maybe useful. At the beginning, I was creating a lot of lessons, for instance, lessons in German, lessons in Spanish, lessons in Catalan. I think at the beginning it made a lot of sense because I was producing more videos, right? But right now, sometimes I'm just doing 1 or 2 videos a month. And I feel like, yeah, if I create a lesson in Catalan, a lesson in Spanish, a lesson in German, and I don't know, a video speaking French, maybe it's been like 3 months already, and I have only done these 4 videos. So I don't know if that makes sense. So I think it used to make sense because I was more consistent with creating content. This is of course great, and specifically for the audience, I think it's amazing. If you guys like my content, then you're like, wow, she's creating a video every week. But it's not realistic for a normal human being. I think I don't know how I did it, to be honest. I think I was very focused, I was very motivated, and at some point, I don't know, it's like anything, it can get a bit old, and you're like, yeah, specifically if you don't have so many topics. And I realized that, yeah, I like languages, I like speaking languages, I like learning languages, but I don't specifically enjoy talking about grammar topics or things like that. So at some point, you feel like you've said it all. And that's why I guess I would need you guys to leave some comments below to ask me questions if there are any. Then there's the thing with the name of the channel. I know a lot of people love it, and I love it too, but it just niches you down to the topic of languages. And I am a human being, I evolve, and there are different topics I like to talk about. For instance, I love productivity, but I also love other topics, I don't know, like nature, or for instance, investing. And in my group of friends, I see that a lot of people are not interested in knowing anything at all about investments or things like that. And I'm not an expert, but I feel like this is an important topic as well, right? Or, financial freedom, there's this movement, FIRE, right? Financial independence, retire early. Those are topics that are super interesting, but they just don't fit my channel. And there was a time I was considering creating a second channel, but I was like, Laura, you're already not creating as many videos as you used to. If you create a second channel, you're even going to create less videos. So this is a bit my dilemma. Then there's also the why we do things. And why I started this channel was I was stuck at home due to COVID. And then it surprised me how successful it got. I mean, it's not super successful, but in my eyes, it was more successful than I expected. And then I sort of identified a lot with it, in the sense that, wow, we need to continue with this, it's amazing, and I was meeting people, and it was exciting, and experiments, this and that. And at some point, after 6 years, it's just part of your life. It's nothing special anymore, it's just who you are in a way, but it's not new and so motivating like it used to be. And so maybe you're not so focused with your ego on that, and then it's like, yeah, well, I do that on the side, yeah, and it's nice, but you don't get this kick like you used to, right? I used to maybe publish a video and be like, yeah, new video, and so many people watching this, and blah blah. And also when the views go down, because I also publish less, and the views go down, the subscribers go down, it just also sort of demotivating, which shouldn't be actually, because when I started, I was like, if 10 people watch it, I'll be happy, but your expectations change. So I guess that's the issue. And also life circumstances change. I'm not the same person I was 6 years ago. So some of the topics I've talked about several times. And if I watch some other language learning creators, I feel like they're also repeating the same topics again and again. It's a thing I mentioned already, but it's like, what's the point of that? I could be like, if you're interested in that topic, go watch that video. I talked about it already. I don't need to talk about it 500 times or in different languages, but maybe, repetition is important also in language learning. So maybe it is interesting. The issue as well is that things that are most useful take longer time, right? For instance, I have a Catalan course that's 40 minutes, but it took me forever to record that. And then you need to put the subtitles and so on. So if you're like, Laura, it would be better if you just create like huge videos and just maybe it takes you 3 months to complete them, but they're really amazing, really useful. It's better than just some 6 random videos, right? And that's the question, right? What's most useful? And one of my goals is to give back to you guys. And if you're like, yeah, longer videos are more useful, then maybe it makes sense to just focus on those. And like I said, I'm working on a Catalan course. It's exciting, I'm excited about it, but because of that, I have less time to dedicate to the YouTube channel. And I'm also creating videos for patrons. The videos for patrons have the advantage that I can talk about anything I want. Just it's in Catalan, right? And I can talk about topics that interest me that have nothing to do with language learning. And in this channel, I feel a bit stuck regarding the topics. That's the issue. Maybe it would make sense to share with you some of the Patreon videos, some of the Catalan course videos, so that you get an idea what I'm working on. Maybe it's interesting, I don't know. And I would love to see your comments. Thank you very much. Don't take it like, oh, it's so negative. No, like I said, most of it is positive, but I'm just reflecting. It's been 6 years, and I think any of you that maybe have been at a job for 6 years know that it's not all perfect. There are things that maybe can improve or need to change, or maybe I need to shake things up a bit, I don't know. But I'm looking forward to your comments. Thank you very much for the last 6 years, and I guess the next 6 years, I don't know. See you soon. Bye bye.